Your time now is 9:05 on this finally Friday, July the 5th. Hope nothing caught on fire last night and you had a safe and happy 4th of July. Again today, Friday, July the 5th, and it's time for a Government Talk program with our host, Scott Johnson. And today's guest is David Kitchens, the Director of Bedford County EMA. Scott, take it away.
Thank you, Producer Chase. This is Scott Johnson on behalf of Hopkins Farm Broadcasting here in Shelbyville, Tennessee, Bedford County, 50 miles south of Nashville, about 25 miles south of Murfreesboro, in the lovely, rolling, and now wet.
Right.
I was going to say Green Hills, David, but it's kind of brown/green right now.
Right.
And it's that time of the month where we have David Kitchens, the Director of the Bedford County Emergency Management and Homeland Security Agency, to come in and talk about things going on in public safety here in Shelbyville and Bedford County. Now, David, it's been dry as a bone, no rain. You show up, you're the weather guy, and now we're having a storm.
Well, no, it's
not a storm.
We needed the rain. You know, I was driving in this morning and I forgot how to turn the windshield wipers on, so I had to look around and see how to do that. No, we're getting a little rain this morning, and
we're thankful for it, right?
We are, very much so, and we may get a little bit more this afternoon.
Grass is not supposed to crinkle when you walk on it, right?
No,
like under your foot.
No, it's not, and hopefully, it will. Around my house and property, the ground's cracking, so it's been a while since we've had some rain. So
kind of reminds me of being when I used to go on military trips out to Texas, where it'd be huge cracks in the ground everywhere,
right.
And people actually watered their foundations out there.
Oh, really?
Because otherwise they didn't. The way that ground would move, it would crack their foundation. So they watered their foundations. I thought, golly, okay, here we go.
That's bad, right?
We don't usually have to do that here. Well, David, I know speaking of storms and that sort of thing, then you guys have a comprehensive storm shelter program where people can go during tornado-type weather. So you want to kind of remind folks a little bit about that today.
Right. I wanted to go over kind of how that works real quick. So we've had some questions on that. So we have our storm shelter program. We have 10 to 12 churches that are in the program. One thing I want to say right up is not all 10 or 12 are open every time. So I was going to try to explain the process of that a little bit. And so what happens when they are predicting or expecting severe weather, we start watching that. And we start watching that early. And we notify, our storm shelters are run by volunteers from these churches. So sometimes if it's going to be, which most of the time it is, a late night event.
It's funny, it's never convenient, right? It's
No.
not at like 2 p.m.
Right.
It's at 2 a.m.
Right, you're exactly right.
Okay.
The last two, we haven't been like that. So what we do, if we know it's going to be later, we try to get in contact with our churches to see if they will have somebody available for that night later on. And then as it approaches, we watch that. We try to give it 60 to 90 minutes before it gets here to get people time to get to our storm shelter or whatever. The reason we do that is not having to spend so much time in a storm shelter. It's hard. Volunteers are far and few between now, and we appreciate everyone that we have.
Absolutely.
But we try to keep people where they don't have to stay in a storm shelter for a long period of time. Once the weather is cleared areas, we start opening those or closing those up so that people can go on about their business. But yes, the late night ones are the ones that are the toughest. So that's how we do it. We do it by church. They open for us, and we're happy to have that. We try to get as many as we can to cover as much as the county as we can. We get that information out through our Facebook pages. Also, the radio station here comes in and puts openings out for us live and any updates that we have that's going on, or any problem areas, if we have trees down or roadway issues, any flooding, flash flooding, we can try to get that information.
Blocked roads, basically,
Correct.
so folks
Correct.
need to get around it. Folks, the radio station here has been participating for many years right here at Hopkins Farm Broadcasting on the FM side and the AM side. So Anytime, like David said, you want to know which shelters are open, certainly look at their Facebook page at Emergency Management, or you can tune in right here to WLIJ, the only locally owned radio station here in Bedford County, and find out which ones are open and when they're closing.
Right. They put that information out.
And I know you guys do pass on information, like you said, about, if there's a lot of trees down on a certain road, it's blocked, in case you need to go a different way.
We try to.
Or flash flooding is a big deal too, right?
Right. And then we try to get that information out too. So they're a big help. By the way, the WLIJ won an award for excellence in public
broadcast media.
Right. For weather through the Emergency Management Association of Tennessee, a group that we're a part of that covers all the emergency management agencies across the state of Tennessee. So they won an award for their helping us during our storm.
Well, that's a big deal because they only give out one of those a year, right?
Well, they gave this year. They gave two.
They gave two. Okay, so two.
But
in 95 counties.
Right. So that's a big deal.
Well, congratulations to the folks here at WLIJ and Hopkins Farm Broadcasting. That I know they're great partners with you guys in public safety to make our folks weather aware around here.
They are, and we appreciate them.
Congratulations on that award, guys.
Yep. Thank you. They help us and with anything else too that may come up. So they've committed to that, and we appreciate it.
So as far as the storm shelters, these are basically for tornado-type weather.
Correct.
And I know that you guys are watching the weather. Now, the problem with Tennessee is it can change in an hour.
Yes, sir.
I mean, it really can. I mean, it could get, all of a sudden, it was like, that looks okay. Well, no, it's not. No, it's not. Or just the opposite. Sometimes you open a shelter and then the sun comes out.
Right.
Or vice versa.
So, a perfect example of that was last night when we had the fireworks out at the rec center. Mm-hmm. I was watching a storm little rain event coming, and it got to Marshall County, and I was like, well, we might need to watch this, and it just kind of fell off. So we didn't have any rain out there.
We call that the dome over Bedford County, right? It's the dome.
I didn't want to say that. I don't want to get the secrets out. Yes, it does tend to happen sometimes. So.
And what Dave was talking about, and obviously he's got to keep an eye to the sky, for weather, for whatever reason, when it comes across I-65 coming our way, tends to change.
It does.
Either for the worse or for the better.
It does.
But it doesn't tend to stay consistent all the time.
No.
It's kind of an interesting phenomenon that even the Weather Service can't explain.
Right.
As it comes across I-65. So you got storm shelter program. Do you still use the courthouse on the square?
We
Sometimes.
do. We do. We use the courthouse for our downtown shelter right now, and our numbers vary. It's good to see we're getting a few more people to come out. So we've had as many as 70 at the courthouse and as many as 130 total in all of our shelters at one time. Sometimes we'll open one up and nobody in that area will show up, but it's open for them to be able to come out.
You give them the opportunity to go to a safer place than probably, because I don't know what the stats are. I know at one time it was roughly 90% of the homes in Bedford County don't have a basement to go to, probably because we're built on rock 2 feet down.
Correct.
And it's expensive to build a basement. And this gives an opportunity for folks that are living in non-basement homes and mobile homes and things like that to come out and be safe. So at least I know the public appreciates you guys giving them at least an opportunity to go somewhere during tornado-type weather, because we do get tornadoes here in Tennessee.
And it's, you always have, they say, severe weather season. Well, it appears that the season is the whole year.
12 months out of the year, isn't it?
Yeah, we've had them all year round. So we're always watching and seeing what's going on.
Well, good deal. So, folks, pay attention to Emergency Management's Facebook page, or let's tune in here to WLIJ during tornado-type weather to get the latest information on openings and closings of the various tornado shelters. And we appreciate all those churches out there that's giving back to the community, for them to open their doors to help keep people safe in that local community. I know you got them kind of spread out so folks don't have to travel as far to get to do that. Now, One of the things we've been experiencing is every day it's been at least, like 97 degrees.
Yeah, above 90.
Stifling heat, and I know that creates safety issues for folks and animals, right?
Right, it does. So the past 2 days, we've been under a heat advisory, and basically what that is if the temperature and the heat index is expected to be over 100 for a 2 to 3 day period, then they will issue a heat advisory. So we did experience that. They had it a little worse in West Tennessee, where we had heat indexes of 103, 105, things like that. So that's always a critical time. Heat deaths related to weather cause deaths. Heat deaths are very high on the scale of deaths related to weather. So I just want to kind of touch on some things. Of course, ways to try to keep your house cool and stay cool during this time. And one thing, if you have a window unit, air conditioner unit, make sure you insulate around that unit, because you may be pumping the cold air in, but the hot air is rushing in right behind it too, so it makes it a little bit harder.
Kind of neutralizes it.
Right. Another thing, and we practice this at our house now that it's gotten warmer, is closing the window blinds and or the curtains. It will help keep some of the sun and heat out. If you have central heat and air units, if you haven't had those clean, get somebody out there to make sure you get them clean and running efficiently and smooth, because during the hot times it does put a strain on your units out there. So make sure you got that going. So check your windows and your doors for weather strips. That's another way that heat gets in. And now it sounds strange in talking about heat, but make sure you got good insulation. Not only does it keep the cold out, but it keeps the heat out too. So that's some things that
keeps the cool air in that you got air conditioning, right?
Yep. So that's a couple of tips. If you're outside working, there's some folks that have to work. That's what they do. Take frequent breaks, drink lots of water, fluids, and take a break in the shade. If you need, wear loose-fitting clothes, light clothes if you're having to work outside. And just check on your friends and family during this time, because it doesn't take much if a unit does shut down to heat a house up in a very short time. So make sure you check on all your friends and neighbors.
Folks, we're talking to David Kitchens, the Bedford County Emergency Management and Homeland Security Agency Director, about various issues in public safety here in Bedford County, and the most recent topic. And we'll come back and talk a little more about personal safety here in the heat. But we're going to take a 60-second break and be right back.
At Dr. Hasty Family Eye Care, they strive to bring you excellence. Their family-friendly atmosphere makes going to the doctor a breeze. They provide their patients with in-depth eye exams with same-day glasses, a wide selection of name-brand frames like Ray-Ban, Versace, Coach, and more. They also have contact lenses and are able to treat ocular diseases and eye injuries. Need an eye exam? Trust Dr. Hasty and Family Eye Care, located at 605 North Main Street in Shelbyville, directly across from the U.S. Post Office, 931-684-2020. When shopping for home furnishings, you want to shop with a name you can trust, who has the best name for durability and affordability. Try Kincaid Service Company, a hometown source to get you the top brands for less, with wide selection, multiple financing options available, and best of all, honest folks that care for their customers. Give them a call at 931-684-5662 for all of your appliance, furniture, electronics, and new mattress needs. That's Kincaid Service Company in Shelbyville.
Thank you to Producer Chase. This is Scott Johnson on behalf of Hopkins Farm, broadcasting here in Shelbyville, Tennessee, Bedford County. We're talking to David Kitchens, the Bedford County Emergency Management and Homeland Security Agency Director, about various public safety issues here that are going on in Bedford County. And David, when we went to the break, you were talking about various ways to I guess, stay safe during all this freaking 96, 97, heat index going over 100. We talked a lot about, staying hydrated, wearing loose clothing. And, this all may seem like common sense stuff, but do it, folks.
Right.
And stay safe. I haven't talked to the EMS lately, but I bet they've had a bunch of heat-related calls, I would think.
But however, you see them going out to quite a bit. People just working outside and just overdoing it and not realizing it till it gets up on you. There's different ways to realize that you're having heat issues. You can have heat cramps. Where your muscles are cramping, but you need to go inside. If you have those, go inside and drink some fluids and cool down. Heat exhaustion, heavy sweating, just cramps.
And then all of a sudden you're not sweating.
Right. You have a chance at that point of passing out and things like that. So at that point, you need to cool down also. And if you don't get some kind of relief within an hour, you probably need to seek some medical help. And then heat stroke is one of the worst ones, where your body temperature goes above 103, and so that definitely
that's definitely a bad thing.
Dizziness, you could lose consciousness, and that's definitely a emergency call to get help.
Folks, you need to pay attention. That doesn't mean you can't be out in this heat, but you need to practice proper hydration and cool it off. If you got domestic animals, make sure they got water and shelter as well. A lot of folks have dogs and cats outside, whatever. Make sure they've got plenty of fluids themselves, because they're going to drink a whole lot more, just like we humans do, right?
Right, they are. And the one big thing, and the last thing I'll add to that, is make sure if you have children or pets, do not leave them in the car. It takes just a very short amount of time to get so hot in a car that
I'm glad you brought that up, David. That's a serious concern, because folks get busy, they're on a cell phone, they're doing whatever, they pull a car up, got a child in the car seat in the back who's taking a nap and forget they're in there, or even an animal in there. And I know there's tragedy every year, and folks pay attention, and let's don't have a tragedy.
That's
certainly here in Bedford County on doing that. Double check everything when you get out of your car.
That is correct. That is correct. That is a very bad thing.
We gonna get any more rain, David? Or is this? Did I just hear some rumbling outside?
It did sound like that. We should get some.
Maybe it was a truck coming by. Let's hope it was rumbling.
I hope it was rumbling. We will next week. They're calling for. We were talking about the heat, but it's supposed to be less humid this weekend. But starting next week, it's gonna come back. It's July 5th.
It's what happens this time of year.
We've had probably one of the hottest Junes in a while. I don't know if we set a record for temperature yesterday. I think the record low they did break. The low was 78, I think it was, and the low in 1921 was 75 or something like that.
Okay.
So, that's the low.
Yeah.
So
high.
Right. No, it's crazy that we've had really hot weather in June, so maybe less humid this weekend, but it's coming back next week. But we do have some more chances of rain, so maybe we'll get some of them rolling green hills of Bedford County back.
No more rolling brown hills.
Right.
Folks, I know I may not be 3 hay crops this year. Coming out of the fields the way as dry as it's been, and but folks, anyway, stay safe out there, and hopefully we'll get to. And now, we don't want a deluge. We don't want flash flooding, David. So if you can order this up through the National Weather Service,
right.
We need just a nice drizzle for several days. How's that?
That would be good. Overnight steady rain. That'd be good.
I know during the summertime, and actually it's kind of year-round, you guys are, because you work with all the city, county, state public safety agencies on various planning issues, and there's a lot of special events that happen during the summer. For example, I guess Bell Buckle just had their Moon Pie Festival.
They did,
a couple weeks ago, I guess, or 3 weeks ago. So, and you guys were involved with that, right?
We were. They, I think it was the 15th, June 15th, I think it was, or 16th, that they have their 5K and 10-mile run out there. Then they
Which one did you do, David?
I did not.
Oh, because you had to work.
Right.
You had to work.
I did witness all of them, but I did not run in any of them.
Did Tammy run in any?
No.
Oh, she was working too.
She was working too.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
So they have an all-day event out there, and we help support them. Their major thing is they bring about 800 to 1,000, close to 1,000 runners. I don't know how many they had this year, maybe 850.
That's a big race.
Right, for both. I think.
Yeah, I understand, but that's a big race.
That's having a lot of
especially in the summertime, because most races are fall and winter time.
Right. So, so we were out there supporting them with the city of Bell Buckle out there. We had some of our other agencies that contributed to. TEMA was resource partner for us for that, for barricades and things like that. So, yes, we have that kicks us off in June normally. Then we have July. Of course, we went out and helped support on the fireworks last night, if anything that needed to be done. But, of course, we have County Fair, 15th through the 20th, coming up. We will not have resources there per se, but we have we also work with our weather service, and we get a weather
any outdoor event.
Right.
People may not think about this, David, but obviously the biggest threat to that's probably like lightning. Right. So they got to keep in touch.
Correct. So every event is different. Some are bigger, some are smaller. So depending on the event, we look at what needs to be done. We go into our that covered pretty much July, August is the Tennessee Walk on Horse National Championship. That's 21st through the 31st. The last 3 days of that, we have larger crowds in, so we actually stage some of our resources in an event that something should happen. We will be close and able to respond quickly. And then our Bell Buckle Craft Fair is in October. I think it's the 16th and 17th this year.
And that's just crazy.
That is. So
I'd say conservatively 40,000 a day.
Probably.
Yeah, I mean, it turns over, but
right.
Going into a town of roughly 500 people.
Right, and it's a major event. They have 800 vendors that come in.
The most of any special event in Tennessee.
Right, and we work with many partners with that, not only our community partners, but other county partners. Franklin County contributes to resources there. State Health contributes to resources there. TEMA contributes to resources. It's a big event, but everything we'll look at, and we try to put if it's major like the craft fair, we'll have a public safety guide, and it lays out
a written plan.
Right, everything.
Who's responsible for what?
Correct.
Okay.
And what telephone numbers are, and what we're going to do if this happens or that happens, and that way we have some plan going into, and then you adjust to what you have. So
because the first thing that goes out the window is the plan.
Right.
But it provides, and like you said, you called it a guide. It's guidance anyway, and folks, that could be anything from. There could be a lot of medical. You get 40,000 people coming. There's probably going to be medical issues. So
right.
I know they hire a lot of EMS resources.
Right,
to come
EMS.
out there. You got traffic and law enforcement issues.
Right.
And they have a couple of part-time officers, so I know they hire a lot of deputy sheriffs to come out there and work that. So, and of course, you guys and 911. I know at one time was bringing.
They're out there. Also, we have a dispatcher on site.
Bring dispatchers right on site.
We do.
Because that's about the population of Bedford County is in Bell Buckle.
Right, that's correct. So and you have to think of things too of just like you said, if you have an event, if you have a lightning event or whatever, so we have to look at places that we could take people if we needed to, or what the situation was, evacuations or things like that, or down to lost child. So
those happen.
Yes,
absolutely.
So we try to cover all aspects in planning that we can on these events. And of course, we are a part of the parades and things
That's
like
right.
that.
Yeah.
So
Veterans Day parade and the Christmas parade, which is probably one of the larger parades in Middle Tennessee for a town our size.
Right.
I mean, that thing's huge.
And we do runs or things that they have in town sometimes when those pop up.
You guys are going to have to quit working all those runs so you can run them.
No. I'll work on it. It probably wouldn't be good for me to be running on them.
I think it's good you talk about special events because it's kind of what you guys do, coordinating all these different agencies. It's a behind the scenes almost kind of thing. A lot of people don't see.
Right.
Are aware that when there's a huge special event, there's got to be a ton of coordination.
And our team is they're awesome. They do a good job of contacting and working out things that we need. This year, we had an incident last year at Moon Pie, so it changed some of our philosophy on safety.
Okay.
And what we did, so we brought in barricades this year to help that somewhat. And so, I mean, it's always changing. We always have, or try to have, which we're actually fixing to do what we call an after action, which we talk about what we felt was good and what we feel like we could change or need to change. But we're going to have that for the Moon Pie here in the near future. But on the backside of that, we're already starting to plan for the craft fair, which is not until October. So you have to get out in front of it and
lessons learned on everything, right?
And
just process improvement, we call it, right?
Yep, that's correct. So we work hard, and our group works hard to try to make sure everybody's safe when they come out to those special events that are here in the county and in the city.
Roger that. David, we are about out of time. Is there anything else you'd like to talk about public safety here in Bedford County? For now.
I can't think of one. I went over I was going to talk about our special events that are coming up. So the county fair, don't forget that starts.
Please come out to the county fair.
Absolutely,
it's a fun event. It's a family event.
Right. I saw their lineup was out on Facebook, so they've got some really neat stuff. I think a local talent's going to be there musically. So one night. So yeah, go out and visit the fair, and we'll be watching out for you to make sure nothing sneaks up on you weather-wise.
A lot of good food out there. There's a lot of entertainment, and if you like them, there's rides down the concourse there, and I think there's tractor pulls.
Right.
There's a little bit of everything for everybody at the Bedford County Fair. That's off of North Main Street, out kind of towards Walmart, just back in there at the Bedford County Ag Center.
Right, that's correct.
So come on out, folks, and enjoy. What was the dates on that again, David?
It's the 15th through the 20th.
15th through the 20th. Come out and enjoy the Bedford County Fair. David, we appreciate you coming in today and updating folks on the various public safety programs going in here in Bedford County. I know the public, the listening public we have here really appreciates what you and your staff do to make Bedford County a better place to live and work. Folks, this is Scott Johnson on behalf of Hopkins Farm Broadcasting, the only locally owned radio station here in Bedford County. Until next time.